In today's exciting adventure, what we're going to do is show the different ways that you can select from a table. We're not going to really do anything with filtering or with a where clause or order bys. It's just simply different ways and choices and options you have when you're selecting information. Now, the most basic way to do this is to select everything from a table. Here we have the asterisk, commonly referred to as a star. So what we're going to do is we're going to say select star from departments. This just basically gives you a dump of the table, just as if you went into tables and went to the department table, right-clicked it, and then said edit all rows. It's basically the same view as this. The only difference is when you're looking at it, the visible bit field will say true and false, whereas here it'll say 1 and 0. Not a big deal. In addition to that, instead of just select star, what you can do, let's get rid of this, what you can do, conversely, is you can select all the different fields from the table, and this will basically give us the same view that we had a second ago. Basically, it's all the fields in the table. It's exactly the same as what we just did a second ago. It looks identical. Now, I indented these so that it would be a little easier to look at. There's no reason why it couldn't have just been displayed like this. It does the same thing. I just wanted to make it a little easier on the eyes. Now, the thing about this though is when you do a select star from a table, it's going to give you the table, it's going to give you the fields in the order that they're created in the table. But when you mention the fields one after the other, when you actually name them, you have a little more flexibility because if you want to, you can change the order. Instead of having display as the second field, I can say give that to me first. And what's different about this is it'll put that field first in my query results. See the difference? Here we have the key and then we have the display. But first in this one we have the display and then the key. So you can change the order of the fields. And lastly, another thing that you can do is when it comes to a table, you don't have to select all the fields. You can just take the field that you want. For example, maybe you just want to look at the display and the description. And you don't care about all those other fields because it depends what you're doing. So these are, just as a recap, you can do select star. That gives you everything in the table, all the fields, and in the order that they're defined in the table schema. So we have key, display, description, visible, order, created, modified. Key, display, description, visible, order, created, modified. Secondly, you can name all the fields. Thirdly, you can name all the fields and change the order of the fields. And finally, you can just whittle down the list of fields that you want to the ones that you care about, and you can put them in any order that you want. So these are the different ways that you can select fields and records from a table.